Let me say this as in my teacher outfit right here. Basically, this is what I've been saying is that we're not recreating the wheel. We're just coming out with millennial
modernizing it.
Yeah, it's just modernizing it, and it's the same shit. We haven't reinvented the wheel. We're just adding one or two extra things to it, and it's the same thing.
Right.
But the interesting thing about it is because it's in these simplistic words that even like a millennial can understand. You start really understanding very complex sort of financial systems because we're not like this is the annoying thing is like we use a lot more simplistic words as millennials, but then once when I break down the Fed meeting right with Jerome Powell and I explain what he's actually saying, people are like, oh, why doesn't he just say that?
Yeah, no, the amount of vocabulary that goes into different entities or industries or environments confuses people. When you just say, nah, he's just doing that, oh, that's all. It's just, knowing the technology or the terminology.
Right. So Kieran Warwick and stuff like that was Kane Warwick created this. Then people from his team created Curve DAO, and or from his community, I should say. Then from there, the people in the Curve DAO token created things like Convex, which are basically an extra incentive model on top of Curve, which is basically almost the exact same, not exactly the same thing, but more or less a different version of like something with Hedron's doing, with like you have Hex and then you have a model on top of it to actually create more people to actually stake Hex out, and there's an incentive. So it's an additional incentive model on top of. It's sort of like imagine like this is not what they do, but it's a good example. Imagine you have a CD market and then you create a thing on top of it to create a bond market.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what it did. So you have Curve and then you have Convex.
No, I understand the function of it. Yeah, no,
I'm kind of explaining to the camera as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But then because of all these things that were created, and then the yield farming that happened from there, obviously they made a lot of money on Ethereum and stuff like that. Then from then his brother Kieran Warwick ends up creating this gaming company called Alluvium and stuff like that. So imagine like the amount of connections and stuff that he had and stuff. So VC funding and stuff like that.
Well, not to mention the their labor, their skilled labor. They know exactly. Yeah, you could start from scratch. So
share the screen real quick again. So one thing Kane Warwick sort of said is like, because this is the first time it was ever done. Sometimes the tokenomics or the way we did it wasn't the best. So he said he was able to help his brother out make the tokenomics, or basically the fundamentals of the token and how it works in the system, to be a lot more efficient and a lot better than what he created for synthetics, because they were just learning at the time. And then what happens is a lot of times when you encode things, it's very hard to like change it up without the community just fucking freaking the fuck out.
Obviously.
So so imagine you want to change the whole direction of a company, the board's gonna flip out basically, right? So he helped his brother along, and because of that, there's a lot of Ethereum, very, very, very wealthy people in Ethereum that back Alluvium. Myself included, I like Alluvium a lot. Now, does that mean I'm not invested in Gala? Of course I am. Now, Gala is a completely different thing. So Gala Games, right, which originally came from Zynga Games. Zynga Games was basically this Facebook Messenger or Facebook sort of like game dApp thing company where they made Farmville and they made Mafia Wars. Basically what's going on now is that basically Facebook's kind of cut them off a long time ago and stuff like that, and like they're not making as much money, so they've now some of the founders of that company have pivoted over to GameFi and basically said, like, let's jump into this whole metaverse crypto thing and let's try to make some money out of this. And because even though they were a $1 billion company and stuff, they're not like they're not like worth $20 billion. You know, we're talking about if I look at the stock price of Zynga, I mean, I'd be surprised if they're above $2 billion, honestly. But because you're part of the stock market and they've been around a long time, they have access to like B and C level players inside of regular gaming, mobile gaming, and the app store stuff that are attached to Silicon Valley. So because of that, they even though they're not a big player, they've been around long enough since early Facebook that they can bring a C player in mobile gaming is like a A- player in crypto.